Hey guys, welcome to the second video for this week. What we are talking about now is lines and transversals. Okay, so a transversal is a line that intersects two or more coplanar lines at different points. Remember, coplanar lines fall in the same plane. So our example down here is we have T as a transversal, and we can imagine that these lines are M and N. We'll see that a lot, or L and M. Okay. So, and remember, to intersect, it's talking like to cross over. So it intersects two or more of these lines. And what this creates is we get four different angles. So these four angles, I'm going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I say 4? I meant 8. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Now these have special relationships. Right now, these are just generic lines that it's crossing over. But we are going to get into special situations where a transversal crosses parallel lines, and that's going to give us some special relationships. So moving down here, corresponding angles. So if we look back up here, 2 and 6 on our original diagram, which is this angle here, those are called corresponding angles because they're in the same location, but they fall on different lines. So if you think of the top line as M and this one as N, number 2 is in the top right corner of line M, and then N, number 6, is in the top right corner. So they fall in the same position. We have 3 other sets of corresponding angles. So if you look at this angle here, it's top left corner. Then we go to the top left corner for down there. Then we go to the bottom left corner, bottom left corner, bottom right corner, bottom right corner. Every angle of the top 4 has a corresponding angle with somewhere on the bottom 4 as well. Now, alternate interior angles, those are 2 angles that lie between 2 lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. I'm actually going to write this off to the side. So there's 4 pairs of the corresponding. There's only 2 pairs of the alternate interior. So alternate meaning opposite sides, interior meaning inside. So we have this pair here, which is 5 and 4. And then we also, if I do 2 dashes, have this other set on the opposite sides, which would be 3 and 6 would be alternate interior. Then we have alternate exterior, basically the same idea. There's only 2 pairs of these, but alternate exterior means outside, and alternate meaning opposite sides. So 1 and 8 is a pair, and then we also would have 2 and 7 would be another pair. If I do 2 of these to represent that. Then we have same side interior angles. You'll also see these called consecutive interior angles. Consecutive and same side are talking about the same thing. 2 angles that lie between 2 lines on the same side of the transversal. Okay, so they are on the same side of the transversal. So they're either on the left side or the right side of it. So we have 3 and 5, or we would have 4 and 6 would be another pair. So there's 2 pairs of these whenever we're talking about one transversal connecting to 2 lines. And then for same side interior, these are another set of 2 pairs. Same side meaning same side of the transversal, exterior meaning outside. So these are outside of our lines M and N, and then 1 and 7 would be another pair. Okay, so we are going to practice this a lot. If that was overwhelming or you think that's too much to remember, it will get better with time, I promise. So let's actually go ahead and practice these and identify some relationships. So we have 1 and 5. So 1's right here, 5 is right here. So if this is one cluster and this is another cluster, then we are talking about one of the pairs that we just learned. So this is in the top left corner, and this one is also in the top left corner. So this is corresponding angles. I'm going to write it right below here. Corresponding angles. Then I'm going to jump over angles 3 and 8. So 3 and 8, So this is right here. That's the bottom left corner. And then 8 is not in the same position because it's the bottom right corner. But 8 is on the same side as 3, and they're both on the outside. So those are same side exterior. And we would usually write angles, but for the sake of space and time, I'm just going to write same side exterior. Then we're going to move on to angles 3 and 6. So 3 and 6 are on opposite sides, and they're both on the outside. So that would be alternate exterior. Then we have angles 4 and 7. 4 and 7 are both on the same side. This is our transversal. I probably should have said that right away. We'll call this T. So they're both on the same side of T, and they are inside of our two lines. So if they're inside of that, then we know that it has to be same side interior. Then angles 2 and 4. So 2 and 4 now, this is in the same grouping. So they're side by side. And if you think back to what we learned in the first video for this chapter, they form a straight line together and they're side by side, so they're adjacent angles. Therefore, they are a linear pair is the classification for these. So that's something we learned in the last video. Angles 2 and 7, so here's 2, here's 7. Those are on opposite sides of the transversal, so they're alternate something. And they are inside of our line, so they are alternate interior. Lastly, we have angles 1 and 4. So 1 and 4 are part of the same little cluster of angles. So if it's the same grouping, it's not going to be one of the 5 relationships that we learned up above. Those are across from each other, and those are, if you remember from yesterday, or the first video I should say, vertical angles. Let's be real, you guys are watching this all at once. Okay, so that is it for this set. Let me know if you have any questions, and please attempt the